Okay, so it seems like we're back for part 7 of the Sinder document. Now, obviously, we're reaching the final kind of stages of this document, and this time we're going into the Spite part. Now, obviously, Spite released a document about Sinder when all of this stuff kind of dropped a little bit later on after nanoless's first document came out. And obviously, yeah, this is exactly what Sinder had to say about it. So she says, "I'm very sorry to Spite for the harassment she's gotten over the years for absolutely no reason other than being similar to me. I know how it feels to be called a copy or an inferior version of someone else when you know it's not true. I dislike Spite for what I thought was her copying me, and I was harassed for being similar to her too. Just not nearly to the degree I was with Silverveil. I never reached out or talked about Spite, or talked with Spite, and I should have. I'm sorry, I've never condoned or told anyone to harass any other creator, even if I've ever held anything against them myself. I said, I lied when talking about Spite in my apology. I knew Red had talked to Nano about her in 2023. He had gone as far as to ask her not to work with Spite. It was not something I had anything to do with, but I was okay with it after he told me that Nano agreed. So, again, obviously she was pretty complicit in what, Red was telling Nano there in terms of Spite and not working with her. They said, I lied so I wouldn't make things worse for myself, and admit to more than I was being accused of at the time when everything was crashing down for me. I'm sorry to her for being unknowingly excluded from working with Nano because of how I felt about her." So yeah, that's pretty insane. They say, "I believe that Spite was contacted by shylily and compelled to make a public statement about me. It's made up of allegations without evidence and is purely based on conjecture. She's profited off of these baseless accusations since making them against me. If Spite was never shown screenshots of Red asking Nano not to work with her, which I feel Spite would have included in her document, then she would have never made her statement. Over one screenshot of Red's DMs talking about her from May of 2023. At no point have I ever stolen or copied anything from Spite. Besides Red, I've only talked about my grievances with Spite to a handful of friends. Following her on Twitter is the extent Red and I have ever been watching her, and I haven't cared about what she was up to beyond mid-2023. I moved past all of this a long time ago and wish no ill will towards Spite." So yeah, obviously then she goes into a lot of these screenshots and she starts talking about copying Spite. So the first thing I want to show is evidence I didn't copy Spite's design or outfits at any point, including the blue fire merch artwork I have of myself. That my original character design was finished. Obviously this is the timeline here. My reference sheet also describes my blue flames. And obviously, yeah, here's a lot of the designs and things that I posted my full reference sheet on Twitter for the first time, which was on the 9th of February. And then obviously Spite made her Twitter account in May of 2021, about 3 months after my post. Said, I posted my PNG model that I was using to stream with on the 15th of July 2021 until my model debuted a year later on the 25th of July 2022. So yeah, obviously that was one of the images that she had there. And also here is a blue one. It said, and they said I posted my PNG. Oh, so they had the alternate blue version I use sometimes too. So the blue version was already known back in 2021, I think. I'm not sure. She never said that she posted it, but she said that she had an alternate one that she used sometimes too, so I'm guessing people didn't know about that. She said, my first ever VOD in YouTube Studios with the upload date, which is in 2021. As far as I could find, this is the first time a Spite ever posted her character design on Twitter. And obviously this was back in July of 2021. So yeah, a little bit later on. And then they said, since it's my more fantastical outfit, this was when I brought the idea of my demon design to Nano. The idea came from seeing Fruit's evil alternate design a year later in December of 2020, and I said I wanted to have a similar outfit since then. And obviously, yeah, this is the outfit she's referring to. She said the demon design was started. So again, obviously they started up that design. And there's a lot of list of references. Now, apparently there's a reference in here of a VTuber who is unfortunately no longer around. Apparently, a lot of people are pretty mad about that. I'm not going to make a video on it because obviously, it just sucks for everybody, right? But again, obviously, just keep that in mind. People said the original demon design was finished about 4 months ago before my original model debut. This version of the design never became a model. So yeah, obviously that was the design there, demon form. And they said the demon design was updated and the model finally debuted on this date, which was the 15th of August, I think. Is that August? Yeah, August 2023. Which, yeah, obviously very interesting. Oh, no, not August, sorry. It was, sorry, the past screenshots were from June, and then this is from July. My bad. Said Red then gave the references for my summer outfit in their DMs before it even debuted. My first model on the 25th of June 2022. It was designed to cover my already designed bikini outfit to be safe to use on Twitch, which you can see the straps of the model on the neck, which, yeah, obviously that was the kind of references they had for it. And then obviously she came up with that kind of design not too long after. Damn, that was really quick and speedy as well, by the way. That was like, what, like an hour? That's insane. Said Spite said that she was working with her model artist on her new outfit. There is no fire in Spite's ears in this image of her, but they were on her final model when it debuted. So obviously, yeah, they said merch artwork. I described what kind of artwork I was looking for to the artist. I asked for it to be partially grayscale with bright, colorful highlights and details. It's public knowledge who made this artwork, so I've chosen not to censor their name here. This is from someone called Click Draws. That's them talking to them. They said, after receiving the first draft, I decided I wanted to try something with my blue flame coloration with a limited color palette instead. Another artist I was working on with merch art was making something with my normal orange flames. So yeah, she wanted to try and experiment with the blue flames. And obviously this is them talking with them about it. And again, you can see here, that is the artwork which came out. It said the artwork was finished for the merch drop that launched on the 25th of December 2022. The reason why a blue fire design was chosen was because my whole first merch drop was themed around my two colors. I suggested the limited palette because I thought it would be a good idea for clothing it was planned for. When it was done, I recognized that the finished piece could be mistaken for Spite, but I really liked how it came out, so I didn't want to change it. So yeah, obviously that was the merch that came out with it. And then said, Heaven Bound's outfit. I submitted a commissioned request to design my Heaven Hound outfit to the artist. The request form was opened on the 9th of August. No, the 9th of... Oh my god, I'm getting so lost here. The 9th of August, yeah, 2023. It's public knowledge who designed this outfit, so I've chosen not to censor the name here. Is Apebe, whatever you want to call them, obviously there. Again, I don't know where the kind of reference that people didn't like were in here, but I don't know if it's in this one or in the previous one. But again, obviously not very great. These were the images that they submitted for the design references. So yeah, pretty interesting. It said my DMs with the artist until the design was actually started on the 4th of January 2024. So it said, hello Cinder, I'd like to know if you're still interested in the commercial. So yeah, the artist contacted me about to start my Heaven Hound design. We worked on it over the next few months. This was on the 4th of January. After working on it for the past few months, the base design was almost finalized. So yeah, 19th of April that was. And then you go on to say Spite designed her Greek goddess outfit on stream on the 29th of the 4th of April. So on April, sorry. On April 29th, I designed a Greek goddess outfit on stream. I am a service VTuber, so it fits my lore completely. So the final design and reference sheet were completed. The model was almost debuted months later. So yeah, they completed it obviously like a month after she was designing, Spite was designing her Greek goddess outfit on stream. So yeah, as you can see here, sleepy outfit. The first time Red brought up the idea of a comfy gamer pajama outfit. Obviously, this is whenever he brought it up in DMs. So Spite debuted her outfit that was a hoodie and side bangs, which is this one. And then Red asked Nano about doing a pajama outfit to debut alongside the release of my AFK flavor on the 4th of April 2025. So Red gave our references to Nano in our project server, which is there. And obviously, as you can see, yeah, it has like everything there that you need. Said, here is the final model. Our outfits weren't shown in Spite's document. The only similarities between our outfits are they both have hoodies with zippers, shorts, and hair over one eye. So yeah, obviously Spite only showed these outfits close up next to each other because when zoomed out, it's much easier to see there's no basis for this accusation. Here is the image she used in her document. The tweets. Here are two instances Spite pointed out in her document when I tweeted at or around the same time as our own events. So 2 days before my teaser tweet, Red messaged me when he made the teaser image. So yeah, that was the post there. And then they said Spite tweeted about her debut happening. Obviously, I'm guessing, yeah, that's 2 days later, or not even 2 days, 1 day later. So yeah, it said I posted my debut teaser. I couldn't find anything that showed that I posted it when I did because of Spite. It was a Saturday about a month before my planned debut date. And obviously, yeah, there it is. The ASMR post. Spite announced her first ASMR stream for the 24th of September, sorry. So they said first ASMR 1 year anniversary. I posted art of Tashi and Sinder on Twitter to advertise my ASMR channel I was trying to keep up with. Obviously, her other half, her other persona, right? I've been working on a few new ASMR videos before this post, but since debuting as Sinder, I hadn't been. 2 days after this post, I uploaded a new video, followed by 2 more over the next couple of weeks. My tweets had nothing to do with Spite. There is one tweet I found that I know I made in spite of her. This was after 6 months of what I thought was Spite copying me and being compared to her and harassed for being similar. I was wrong and petty of me to do this. Spite announced her debut outfit here, which as you can see, it said on the day of her debut, I posted my blue merch artwork. So this was one thing Spite tweeted when she went live, and then obviously, yeah, so this is one thing that she admits that she did post out of spite of her, which I think is pretty interesting, because obviously, yeah, it seems like she was not happy about it, but again, I do find it a little bit weird, because obviously she has proved that, obviously she wasn't copying her and she wasn't following her in every single step, right? But why would you think that Spite was copying you if you were the ones that were making it first, right? And especially if it's all in DMs and none of this was public, and you were actually uploading afterwards but creating before, why would you have any kind of, notion that she was copying you? I think that's a little bit weird, because personally that you've been working on these designs privately with Nanoless and obviously Red, those I'm guessing are the only people that know, right? So it's not going to get out. But apparently you're the one that thinks it's copying. If anyone was to think anyone was copying, it would be Spite, because obviously they were releasing it after Spite was releasing a lot of her stuff, right? And obviously it seems like that was just a coincidence and a bad kind of set of, timeline. But still, I do think it's a little bit weird how she thought that Spite was copying her. Like, again, I don't know. That's one thing that kind of, irks me a little bit. It said, Spite copying me, speculation. So this is why she thinks Spite was copying her. I said, I would also like to show my point of view, why I thought Spite was the one copying me back in 2020 and early 2023, which led Red to asking Nano not to work with her. We were the only 2 prominent Hellhound or Cerebus themed VTubers at the time this all occurred. At the same time, Spite's entire document was about me. Everything presented here could have been sheer coincidence. Spite's design with the one on the right debuting 14th of May 2022. And then obviously my original model debuted. Spite came into my chat to introduce herself and gave me bits. Spite's new model debuted. She said in the document that she had worked on it. It was worked on the 20th of July 2022. There were no ear flames on Spite in this image. So my debut teaser, which happened to be posted around the same day as one of the models on her debut, said Spite's new model debut teaser above. So again, okay, so this is one instance where she does actually post something a little bit later. Now, this is quite a long time later. This is, obviously months later, which I think is interesting. But obviously, yeah, you can see that she has added the flames to her ears. But at the same end of the day as well, I think there's a lot of, inspiration that is taken. I can understand wanting to be copied, and not wanting to be copied, sorry. But we've had this situation before with many artists in the VTuber community, right? Of like people adding horns and things, and people saying, you copied me because you added horns to your character, right? When in actual fact, it's just something that people, A, can take inspiration from, and B, a lot of YouTubers have this kind of thing, including flaming ears, right? But obviously I can understand why she would be a little bit, interested in that. Said I had an animated version of my Hellhound running to the right as an alert on my stream. I had it on my pre-debut streams as well. Spite posted art of her two Cerebuses running to the right. So again, obviously that is very similar to be fair, and I can understand why she would think that. I said my PNG model that I was using to stream for a year of June 2021 until my model debut, and its alternate blue version, as you see there. Spite posted artwork of her new design by her model. Obviously, it is kind of similar with the holding flames type thing. So again, I can understand that. Then around the same time as her new outfit debut, she also started using the fire emoji in her Twitter name when she hadn't before. So this is this screenshot. Obviously, you can see there the fire is there too. It said, I've always had an alternate blue fire color toggle as part of my design. It was on my reference sheet and the biggest and well-known gimmick of my original model. I used it on stream. This was before editing and changing model colors later. Changing layer colors was a built-in feature of VTuber Studio. Said I made a post emphasizing my two fire colors, and obviously, yeah, you can see there. And obviously, yeah, she does interchange between them, or she did interchange between them. Said Spite started using an alternate red coloration of her new model, which she continued using then on. I don't know if this was around the first time she used it on stream, but it could have been earlier. That was the earliest I could find her posting about it. Again, I don't really have any issue with a red coloration of it. I mean, you know, I don't think the color schemes are very similar to Sinder at all. Obviously, Cinder's more orange than red. Obviously, she has a red shirt on, but I mean, the actual hairstyle, it's slightly different. And I mean, yeah, she could have had a lot of inspiration from that too, to be fair. Said, I posted about my two different colored shirts, focusing on my two fire colors, which obviously, yeah, as we saw there. And then they posted this one saying the duality of Doggo, which, yeah, I mean, that does look very similar as well. I can understand that too. Obviously, having a, you know, alternate color variation. But then at the end of the day, I do think it is becoming more and more common for people to have alternate versions of VTuber designs. Now, I don't really know how common it was then, whenever this was going on. Obviously, this is just her bringing up these two cases, which is true. You know, it does look very great for Spite, right? But I would like to see how many other VTubers were doing color variations and doing variations of VTubers that were like dual, because, you know, obviously there's people like Zen who have like her two different kind of models. She has a red kind of model. I don't know what the actual definition of it is for her, but obviously she has a red kind of model and her white haired kind of model, right, which she switches between the two, which is also a very similar kind of aspect, but you wouldn't say the Zen was copying, right? But again, I think that is interesting, at least. So Red's first conversation with Nano about Spite was 5 days after the Spite post above. He asked her not to work with her. Nano gladly agreed not to. Red only told me about this after it was done. It wasn't something we talked about beforehand, but I was okay with it. Nano never expressed anything about this to me, and we never talked about Spite. I shared the feelings that Red expressed here, since he was the only one who knew how I felt. What he said about negative comments I was getting was true. This was not included in Nano's or Spite's documents at all, since they didn't have anything about it. I chose not to either. I lied about not knowing about Red's conversations with Nano and Spite to try and not make things worse for myself, but I still accidentally alluded to it in the mental state that I was in. He said, we requested you don't work with someone. He said, you mean like being exclusive? I just wanted to ask if you're okay with being one Hellhound exclusive. I feel really bad asking something like this. He said, Nano and I have never talked about Spite. Here's me talking about Spite. I said, it's okay, no place for rude people. And I think this, obviously, for example, the exclusivity contract itself was brought up by nanoless, and we know that now, considering a lot of the document, a lot of the exclusivity and being exclusive to Sinder was nanoless, and we now obviously have a better understanding. But I think the request of, you know, not working with people still came from redacted here, as it seems like still from the Sinder document as well. That obviously it is redacted, that is the one that is saying, can you not work with this person, right? So it's not nanoless bringing up first in this scenario, this particular scenario, right? But the only other time Red talked about Spite with Nano was in the middle of another conversation they're having about Silverveil. And obviously, yeah, that was the conversation they were having. And said, like Red said, Spite came into my chat, introduced herself and gave me bits. Spite's tweet that Red refers to in his DMs with Nano, it was posted on the same day as that ASMR announcement I showed above. But I want to be very clear, all my three models were never based on any other character except Cerberus himself and inspirations from goth ego culture. So yeah, they said my design elements and Niantel's claims. As I stated in my apology, I was very possessive and protective of my design, and it details before and around the time of my first debut. My fire and its color changing effects had never been done on a VTuber before, and was my most unique design aspect. I was stressed and worried I'd miss out on capitalizing on those features since my first debut took a year and a half to happen, and my character was finished. So he said, yes, Spite included an image of her messages from Niantails in her document, where she talked about an incident we had over my design. The situation she's referring to happened in September 2021, 4 years ago, and 9 months before I had debuted my first model. It was very clear in my career, and the first time I'd experienced someone copying me and my design. This was settled between us, and we both went our separate ways. This is all I said about Neanderthals in my apology. I was wrong about the year this happened. This goes to show my composure at the time of writing. My debut was 25th of June 2022, but this happened in the 10th of September 2021. So yeah, that I wasn't going to say anything more about this when I did my apology. But since Neanderthal's own tweet about this situation had almost 500,000 views when I took the screenshot before it was deleted, I'd like to go over her claims of what happened. So do you remember when she sent her entire following to attack me because I made an ASMR roleplay with this Hellhound OC and that was copying her? Or how about when she was actively liking tweets, calling me names? Of course, we don't remember that because she made me delete every tweet regarding it happened. So this was the artwork that she presented to the public. It was used in her first ASMR video, uploaded the 19th of July. So yeah, obviously they're saying, however, this artwork of the Hellhound character is not the only one that was a problem. That here is her original quote about this character designed on the Wayback Machine in her messages to Spite. She called this character a dog girl when she called it a Hellhound girl here. Said, yeah, Hellhound girl is finished, unsure what to name her. It said, here is the original artwork. It is not the design, it's not the art that she presented in her tweet of the 26th of April 2025. I was upset with how her overall similar this was to my design, not only because it had fire in the ears, and also my original design for comparison taken from this the sheet. Now, yeah, I can see they're kind of similar. Yeah, that is true. Actually, yeah, they've got the kind of belt here as well on the tail, so I can understand, why she wasn't very happy about that. But I don't know why she didn't post the actual artwork. There was a dispute over in her tweet, other than to try and make me look worse, because the video with the correct character artwork is from the 4th of January 2022. It's public on her YouTube channel. This is what design was edited to look like after we'd settled things. And obviously, as you can see there, that was it. It said in her tweet, she claimed I sent my entire following to attack her because she made an ASMR roleplay with this Hellhound OC, and that I made her delete everything. First of all, I didn't send anyone to attack her, and this was a long time before she made an ASMR roleplay with this OC. So sometimes after seeing Neanderthal's tweet, Red messaged an artist friend of ours for advice about it since they dealt with a similar situation. It was also that our friend acted on their own and commented on Neanderthal's tweet to defend me. And in the group chat with the same friend, Red and another friend, said, I never sent anyone to attack or harass her or retweet the post or any replies. What I did was like my friend's comment and at some point reply myself. So yeah, it seems like obviously she didn't send like her entire fan base or anything, made a tweet being like, go attack this person. She just told like a small group of her friends, like just like 1 or 2 people, right? And they commented on the post. So yeah, this was I messaged Neanderthals that same night to work things up privately, where I allegedly made her delete every tweet regarding it after it happened. So picking an outfit right now, this outfit inspired me. Obviously, yeah, they talk about it. Below I said you should be careful with what artists give you back in the future. It could lead to another situation like this with someone else, and it gets a lot worse reading it back now. Now that I meant it back then. I asked her to remove only the artwork tweet until revisions were made, followed by her saying, I'll remove tweets if you remove yours, which I agreed to. So yeah, obviously they were going through that. And then obviously, yeah, it says below, I asked if she'd be deleting her replies too, since I already had, after she said I'll remove my tweets if you remove yours. She messaged me again on the 18th of October 2021 with the art revisions. Said, hey, I know this has been a minute, but I just got the file sent to me like 2 seconds ago. And yeah, there you can see here, is that here's the original, and here's what I was sent. Said, and the artist was on a break for school or something, so it took longer. I said, that's fine, thanks for getting back to me, I appreciate it. And then so for more proof against the claim, I sent my entire following to attack her. Here's the original tweet from the 9th of September 2021. Before my friends commented on the 10th, you can see it has 3 comments. So yeah. So then searching on Twitter, replies from Neanderthals from the 10th of September 2021 to the 11th of September 2021 shows a total of 2 comments, both from friends defending me. There were a handful of negative comments on her tweet at most, far from a claim that was in my entire following. Regarding the size of my entire following, she also said that a smaller creator like herself were intimidated into silence. I did not intimidate into silence about this, as it's shown in our DMs. And here is a YouTube channel size at in 2021, right? And so again, she was technically a bigger VTuber, I guess. So that's pretty interesting in terms of her ASMR content. Obviously, not in terms of Cinder though. I don't know. But again, said I am aware. I did not have. So I did not and do not have the exclusive rights to have fire on my character, specifically in my ears. It is my most iconic feature, but it doesn't make it my only feature. Your VTuber character design is something that represents you, an IP-driven world. Your design is very important to your brand. When someone adds similar details to their own design, or their design looks very inspired by yours, it can feel personal, like they took a part of you for themselves. As I grew, I became much less concerned about other VTubers using fire like mine. I've seen many new VTubers with fire in their ears and adding the swirl too. But the fire with a swirl has always been a common trope. While it bummed me out when everything around that detail looked as if it could have been taken from me, I recognize that it probably inspired a lot of people to design themselves that way. So yeah, I think that is just Cinder obviously having a little bit of an issue with how the VTubing space works in terms of designs and how similar some things can be. And again, we've seen this so many times over on Twitter with like people being like, "Hey, you stole my design." It's like, what? Okay, like a broken horn is like seriously what we're getting angry over. And I think it's a similar case here with like fire in the ears, right? I don't think every single character with fire in their ears is copying you, one to one, right? And even if they did take inspiration, it should be a good thing that they are taking inspiration, as long as they're not straight up just copying your design and having it like same hair color, same everything, right? I don't think that should be an issue, right? I said at some point I took the screenshot above. This friend detailed a message that I replied to, which is shown in this image from the day that these messages was sent. I have a friend with fire on them, friends with fire in their ears, and friends with fire ears. It never bothered me to have that in common with them. So yeah. So I remember having this conversation about being happy with another friend having fire in their ears. So again, obviously they show some evidence of them being happy that they have the same kind of, the fire in the ears detail, right? Which I think is pretty interesting. I mean, again, I think that obviously she does seem pretty angry that obviously, Spite had fire in her ears, but then at the same time showed us cases of her not being angry at other people, which kind of confuses me a little bit exactly on what she's trying to get at there. Like, were you angry at her for having fire in her ears, or were you not? Like, I'm kind of confused. But again, that is the whole of the Spite document. Very interesting. Obviously, nothing too crazy. It just kind of clears up the whole timeline of like what went on and how the Cinder wasn't actually copying Spite in the first place. It was just more of a poor timing situation, right? And she also had a lot of kind of confirmation bias whenever it comes to like other kind of situations where she thought that Spite was copying her. So again, I don't think obviously it was just more of a kind of response to what Spite had said, and a lot of the accusations were going towards her. I do think that Cinder obviously was just kind of very unfortunate in terms of the posting timing. Now she does obviously admit to purposely posting something after her in order to kind of get back at her or whatever, right? So that does happen, and she does fully admit to that in the document. So again, that is something to also consider, that she was purposefully actually kind of following up on some of her posts because she was not very happy with Spite at the time, right? So again, I think that's very interesting. Obviously, we have the final part, which we will be covering at the end of the day, which will be the Silver Veil part, and it's the final part, the last little bit of chapter that we need to go through, and then we are finally done with this entire document, and I can go back to making normal VTuber drama videos or news videos, whatever you want to see, or even some positive ones. I've been doing some more positive ones recently, but again, we'll be going through all of this. This is a very, very long one too. This is over 200 pages. Again, I'll try to shorten it down as much as possible to not make it a 50-minute long video, because again, I know you guys aren't super happy with that. But hey, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.